Hello, here is your astrology chart. And we start off by first calling in sacred space. And however you do that for yourself, light a candle, have some water, maybe incense. Gather all of your energy into your body. Just get grounded. Call all of yourself back in toward your center, breathing in your energy into your body. And I always like to call in the energy of the planets, the stars, everything from the above, calling in the energy of my own body, my guides, spirit guides, teachers, masters, all of that, calling all of that in for myself, and then invite you to also call in whatever you like to call in. Then also, I always like to give thanks for all the ways that the ancient people, our ancestors, have kept track of time and made this information available to us through all the ways the standing stone sites and people who were able to understand the language and have this information still coming through to us. So we start off with your chart by looking at the moon position to see what your lineage is. What is your DNA coding astrologically? And you have a Gemini moon, which would say that just by virtue of being born, you were naturally, the first thing that comes to mind is good at Jeopardy, like having a lot of information that's, you know, I usually will call this useless information, but we all know that it's not useless. It's just information and having a lot of it. So being able to think beyond the bounds of the four corners, like beyond the bounds of what's right in front of you, which for a little kid is like goes past what the textbooks say that kids would be able to do. Textbooks tell us that kids aren't able to see around the corner. They don't have that ability. But for somebody with a Gemini moon, you would have that. Also, it might not have shown up as being able to look beyond what was in your space, but not having to feel bound and compressed by it. So Gemini is the eternal youth, the child who is wondrous and bright and is really magical. Gemini is the creative muse, the magician. It's really difficult to, every time I read for somebody with a Gemini moon, you can't quite label it, that's the magic of Gemini. And explaining to somebody the moon position is like explaining to a fish what water is, because it's so inherent to that being. And then with Gemini moon, it's extra difficult because it's the wild card. It is it can show up in any kind of way. That's the magic of Gemini. This is the Fool in the tarot deck, because they're in the tarot, they're shown they're shown jumping off the cliff. The Fool is shown jumping off the cliff, maybe naked with blindfold, and just totally trusting the universe. And it works out for Gemini. It always works out because Gemini is in service to spirit through joy, playfulness, the heart, the youth, the heart of the youth, who it's like curiosity and wonder rule the world of Gemini. So that's the moon position. And the thing that I find really interesting, there's a lot of things interesting with this chart, but number one thing is that it's so heavy in Gemini and so heavy in Scorpio. So the planets that we look at that we call personal planets, sun, moon, rising, moon and rising aren't planets, but you know what I'm saying. The moon, the rising sign, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. Those are, what make up, we can learn so much about the person's personality from those aspects on the chart. And it's so heavy in Scorpio and Gemini. So, very interesting with that. The thing I want to mention here is that the South Node is in the third house, which is also like Gemini. So we would call your lineage the Gemini job in the Gemini tribe. So the South Node tells the sort of expertise. And if we were just going to read the South Node information, South Node for you, where you've been, your karma, addictions, patterning, what you've mastered. North Node being where you're going, your sort of destiny or life purpose, if you believe in those things. Looking at it from the chart's perspective, there's a freedom in it. It's not so like, there's something that you're going to do no matter what kind of idea. But the North Node, this is where you've been, this is where you're going. This is the seeker, the traveling minstrel, the one who is seeking. This is that which is being seeked, that which is the seeked, basically. So the ninth house is like, if we look at this as a evolutionary axis, where you've been and where you're going, it's like being on this traveling around, taking pictures of everything, wanting to know everything. The where you're going aspect of it, we call this a Sagittarius job in the Gemini tribe, also because you're rising into Gemini. It's like learning how to basically become that, what you're seeking, how to become that, what you're seeking. So lineage is something that you will always be a master of. It's like you can't take that DNA out of you. You can't take your bones out. It's like this is the foundation for you. But we want to move into the new school, which is interesting also because your new school is so much like what you've already mastered. New school being the rising sign, so close to the moon. So when it's this close, conjunction between the moon and the rising sign, and also we want to look at all the other things. You also have Neptune opposing this. So the aspects on the chart are sort of showing us the strategy for meeting the life intention. The life intention being that you're coming from the Gemini job in the Gemini tribe, moving into Sagittarius job in the Gemini tribe. And then all the aspects, the way that the planets line up and are connected to each other gives us clues about how to do that. So learning to do Gemini in a new way in this lifetime, learning to do it in a new way. There is the Sagittarius flavor to that new school, meaning that going forth. It's about evolution and expansion with Sagittarius. So with your North Node being there, it's like, how can I be on this quest for truth and expansion, doing it in a way that is very Voyager-like, very exploratory, questing for new land, questing for new things. Your midheaven is conjunct with the North Node also, which says that this is your contribution to the world. Midheaven is the contribution to the world. You have that in Aquarius, which is showing that the way that you're contributing is going to be also cosmic, big picture perspective, and through technology, using innovation. And because your North Node is there, this is really saying to me, what I'm getting from this is that it's part of your evolution, part of your, reaching your destiny or going toward your north, finding your true north. is part of the way that you contribute to the world. So it's like almost like bringing your personal evolution and expansion journey into your career. Um, so my midheaven is also in Aquarius, and something that is coming to me is like, I always think to myself, I can really separate my personal life from my work life because it is so much as I evolve and grow. That's what I'm giving to people, my clients, whoever, people who buy jewelry from me. It's like as I expand and grow, that goes into my work, and I don't see a separation. So I'm wondering if that, I mean, it looks like that would be true for you also, especially with a North Node there. It's like as you grow and evolve, this is also a part of the way that you're contributing to the world, aka career. Okay, so I just went all over the place. That's not the normal way of giving the reading. So I hope it makes sense to you. And the reason that happened, I feel like all this Gemini energy, which is very like this, it's just like getting a handful of seeds and blowing them and just seeing where they land. And they land somewhere magical. It sprouts up and grows. And hopefully it made sense to you so far, what I've covered. So the next thing I want to mention is that we always want to honor the lineage, always want to honor where we've been, Moon and South Node. And we want to pay more attention to where we're going, meaning that there's nothing we have to do to try for you, Gemini job, Gemini tribe. But there is something to try in going into Gemini in this new way with a Sagittarius flavor on it. The next thing and the most fun thing I want to talk about today is Jupiter going through Scorpio. So this is going to be going for a whole year, so until November next year, actually a little over a year. Jupiter will be transiting Scorpio. You have a lot of things in Scorpio. You have Mars, the vertex is there, Venus, Jupiter, and Vesta. And then Neptune is just right. It's out of sign. It's out of Scorpio, but it is really close to Vesta. So, and it is also opposing your moon and your rising sign. So Neptune is a very critical feature for you. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Going to stick with Jupiter for this next section. So Jupiter transiting through Scorpio for you is going to mean that it's hitting each of these things and making it bigger, blowing it up for that moment of time. Right now, Jupiter's at 0 degrees, hitting Mars first, very soon actually, because your Mars is at 3 degrees of Scorpio. Blowing that up could mean meeting new men, perceiving men in a new way, connecting more with your inner masculine. And then the next thing, you have your Venus being hit by Jupiter, which is going to blow up and expand your inner feminine, the way that you relate to women, the way that you relate to your own feminine ways. Then you have Jupiter hitting Jupiter, which is really, really just blowing up this whole section of your chart, because anytime Jupiter hits your natal Jupiter, it's like going to a grown-up playground with all your favorite friends and all your favorite stuff. And the funny thing about this, though, is that Jupiter is in Scorpio, which I feel myself take a gulp, like, we don't really know what that's going to be like. You know, it's hard to say, because Scorpio is the under. It is the mysterious and the things that are hidden. So if you have anything hidden, if you have Jupiter being there on your chart in Scorpio, the way I'm seeing it right now, it's like it could be the underneath things that are big and expanded, and then Jupiter comes around and transits your inner, your Jupiter that's in the cut in the underbelly of your self. And then Jupiter comes by, transiting it and blows it up. You know what I mean? Expands that and makes it bigger. So this could be a time of looking into your own underbelly, looking what I sometimes will call blind spots. It's things that we might not really be so aware of in our top of our mind. Um, it can be those things that are like hitting in the dreams. I didn't say hidden in the dreams. Um, hitting in the dream. To me, what I'm trying to say, hitting in the dream means like that stuff is already in us, in our mind, in our body, in our psyche. You might even say at a soul level, it's all there, and it gets kind of thumped during dream time when our body is completely relaxed and we're doing whatever kind of things that we do in our sleep, and it gets hit, it gets flicked. And so then when we wake up, it's like new things are sort of coming up. If you're working with dreams, I guess maybe it's not like that for everybody. But working with the underbelly in Scorpio, this is what I'm sensing, that Jupiter transiting through all these things for you could sort of trigger that. So when I said going to being at a playground with all your best friends and things you like, it might not be that. It might be just because it's Scorpio. It might be uncomfortable. It might be bringing up emotions and bringing up things that might not be fun to look at. And the sort of medicine, or, you know, what to do. What to do is to feel it, be with it, treat all the material that comes up, everything that you're feeling moment to moment, this whole year, really, really being present with yourself, asking yourself questions as if there was a small child in you or somebody that you love dearly inside of you. I'm saying that, but it's like, because if you love yourself like that, it will be natural to you to just be talking to yourself like, oh, honey, what do you want to do today? Oh, how are you feeling? Oh, I have cramps. Okay. And communicating with yourself that way. For some people, that might not be where you're at or natural. So then giving that imagery of seeing your little the child that nobody can not like their child self because you're so damn cute. And, I actually am thinking about putting a picture of my child self on my altar, because when I see my child self, I cannot be mad at that. I can't hate it. I can't think it's not perfect. I just love it so much. So cultivating that feeling for our own self, and, maybe superimposing that image of the small child will help to develop that relationship. But just to be super, super present with whatever comes up, even if it's like immense joy, elation, because Jupiter going over Mars could have that feeling of like orgasmic pleasure. Because Mars in Scorpio already is extra sensual and sexual. So when that hit comes through, even if it is like total arousal, being present with that and feeling it, and honoring everything that you feel, everything that comes up, everything that goes down, in, out, whatever way, just totally being present with it. So I got into this Scorpio talk before I did the inner feminine and inner masculine piece, so I'm going to do that now. So the inner feminine is the way that you embody the goddess, regardless of if you're a female or a male, or if you, I forget all the words right now, but the kids are saying I identify as, whatever you identify as. Venus represents the inner feminine. So the way that you embody the goddess, the way that you embody your feminine energy, is in Scorpio. What we do is mix Venus with the rising sign to it's like alchemy, gathering the energy from your Venus and the energy from your rising sign and putting them together and seeing the form of the goddess that is emerging from you. And this is Scorpio and Gemini. So putting those two together, it's like, I don't know. I can't recall ever seeing this on a chart before. So it's very new and different. Scorpio is your inner feminine. So this is the type of goddess who is like Kali, Pele, very intense, raw, very live wire, you know? This is the ultimate feminine, the ultimate form of the goddess. When we talk about a goddess, and this is my wording, I think. Scorpio is the goddess. It's raw, pure life force energy. And then you put that with Gemini and it becomes this sort of magical. See, the reason this is so interesting because Scorpio is really it's like it really needs its body, you know? Scorpio really needs its body because it's feeling life force energy through the body. But Gemini doesn't really need a body. Gemini is that magic. It's the, what happens, that energy that comes off of the Scorpio, it's like the wax or the oil, the exudate from the goddess. It's like that. That's what the Gemini piece of it is. So when you put those two together, it's very magical and sexual, but it's like not the sexuality, but the dust from it, or the residue from that energy. I don't have words for this. It's something that maybe you can teach me about, actually. How do you mix your Venus, Scorpio goddess, with Gemini? And maybe that is the way I experience you through Instagram, all the pictures and the intensity and dead bugs that look so beautiful when you photograph them, the mountains and the flowers, and it's so beautiful and intense. Like I feel the intensity, and it also has that creative, almost makes me want to go there. It makes me want to be there and explore it, but I feel like I still get the feeling of it from the picture. So maybe that, somehow that's the way that you're embodying the goddess, and maybe this is part of what I'm seeing from you. Most of the times when I read charts, I don't know the people. I don't have much connection to what they're doing in their life. So anyhow, the inner feminine is the way that you're expressing the goddess. You have Scorpio and Gemini to do alchemy and combine together. The next piece is your inner masculine, which is the way that you embody the god. What usually happens is that we are attracted on the outside to our inner masculine. The reason for that is that, not being able to fully access that from within, it's like what we most wish to connect with in the other. And I guess it's not about not being able to. It's more about the fact that that's what we like, because that's you. Your Mars is also in Scorpio. And then what we do here is add the descendant. So we would take Mars and do alchemy and combine that with the descendant, because over here is who am I, and over here is who are you, and this is known as the relationship axis. So when you're mixing your Mars with your descendant, we're getting an idea of what is the form of the other that you most wish to connect with. So at this piece, what I want to say before I go more into that inner masculine is that we want to know who am I and who are you. But whenever we're able to fully digest this as one, actually everything on this chart in polarity, pulling that all in, this, I feel like this is what would be being centered, having the whole pole and being able to integrate all of that so that, you know, we are all of it. Everything that we can perceive from planets and archetypes and all these different ways that we connect with energy, it is all one. And this is just a tool to be able to help us get to the center and be integrated or whole. Healing means wholeness, and we want to be whole and complete. So, looking at the masculine piece, this might be something that you project outward. For you, it's Scorpio and Sagittarius. So this would be a form of the masculine who is also intense and sexy and passionate and a quester. He's on a voyage. He might not have a home because he's gone half the year or something exciting. I see the archetype for the male, the masculine piece on here a lot easier because the Sagittarius, I get it. It's more solid than Gemini. It's really difficult for me to put Gemini into an archetype because of the fact that it is so dust like. It's so magical, like fairy dust. And that's all I can, it looks like I'm making it rain, but I'm just like, you can't grab it. You can't grab Gemini. So with the masculine piece, I can grab that. It feels more substantial to me. So super sexy pirate looking with boots, the tall trekking boots or something, because he's on a mission and a quest and very wanting to know more, but also very sensual, wanting to touch. Excellent lover because of, having the curiosity from the exploration, but also the Scorpio tactile, electrifying lover. That's the inner masculine. So what we want to do, and this is the really interesting piece here. To me, it's really interesting because what I learned from the school that I study with, the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School, is that if you have your Venus or your Mars or your descendant or rising, Scorpio is like the one sign that it's like, if you have this as part of your relationship material, you have to do the sacred marriage because Scorpio will sting the heck out of you. There's not a very easy way to have a healthy Scorpio relationship because Scorpio is, if you have a live wire, that energy can be used in a lot of very beneficial ways, but it's a live wire, and it can also be very unsafe and unpredictable, and you can really get hurt with that energy. So you definitely have a lot of reason to do the sacred marriage, which is really, really getting super in touch with your inner feminine and super in touch with your inner masculine and having them join together within yourself. So I can send you a link for the steps to doing that, just because I think it's really beneficial anyway, but especially because your inner lovers are both in Scorpio, which I also get the idea that you're probably an amazing lover also, amazing with your beloved, like being very in the moment and really into pleasure and sexuality and sensuality and feeling. I know you're also a massage therapist, so that's one way that the Scorpio energy is like, because when you're with a body and you can actually feel the pulse of their body and get super in tune with it and move them around in such ways that it's total ecstasy for you doing the massage, and for the people receiving it, they're just like, what is going on? This is amazing. So that probably serves you very well. The next thing here is, did I say everything about this? Yes, about the masculine piece. It's like we need to own that. We need to own our inner masculine, and we'll still probably be attracted to it. I don't think that we ever stop being attracted to that. It's just learning how every time you're attracted to this pirate looking guy who's like questing and on a mission, Scorpio Sagittarius, that you would be able to recognize that that's you. So you're looking out and you're like, oh my God. And then you're able to draw that back in and recognize that that's you, that you're feeling everything that's coming up, and you're seeing the trigger. He like triggered that, and being able to own that that's already there. And I think we'll still be attracted to them, you know. Um, I haven't, I've been doing this work with myself in my inner Scorpio lover things, and I'm still attracted to it. So I've just been able to not act on every single thing that comes up, or any of it really, is what I'm doing right now. So the next thing I wanted to mention was your Jupiter. So Jupiter is known as the pathway moving from the lineage to the new school, and you have Jupiter also in Scorpio. So it's a sixth house Scorpio, just saying do more Scorpio things to move into your new school. So I will go ahead and stop here. I gave so much, probably too much information that I hope it made sense. Pieces of it might not have, but please feel free to ask me. I love to answer questions. It helps me a lot also. So thank you so much for letting me read your chart, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.